Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. Welcome into this week's edition of Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. We're going to have several folks join us, I think, a little bit later on. And I know that you've moved positions, so tell us what your new title is.
Well, I'm still a detective because I'm still doing detective work, but I'm also an administrative assistant.
Okay, all right. Well, I knew you'd moved into Marianne Bradford, actually retired. Great number of years service.
16 years.
Wow.
She did it. She was amazing. She knew that job inside outside.
Well, the job of doing that, you have to do so many tasks.
You really do. Like this morning, I had to do the print all the accident reports for last month, and then I had to turn around and I have to mail them to the state. So that's something I never would have thought she would have had to have done.
And and people say, well, there's not that many wrecks. There is a lot of wrecks.
There's a lot of wrecks.
A lot of wrecks.
I've seen her have to pack up 2 different big manila envelopes full. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you get the arrest reports together and send them out.
I do.
And
accident reports sent out.
So there's a lot of things that are happening. And you're still doing some of your detective work. I know you worked a lot into children's investigations and, the unfortunate thing, sexual assaults and things like that. So I guess you're continuing that for now?
I am. I've got a couple of cases going right now on that.
Yeah, and that's a terrible thing.
It is.
Terrible thing to even have to talk about, but it's an unfortunate thing that it happens. If it happens once, it's too often, but far too often.
I agree. And I want to tell the parents, please check your kids' phones. You don't know what they're doing. I think there should always be, parental involvement in cell phones. I think they need to be seeing what the kids are doing. Starting from the very beginning when they get a phone. And they can.
At 18?
If they pay. Yeah, at 18. Well, my daughter got her first one at 15 and a half, right before she started driving. Of course, now she's 32 now, but I think there should be from the very beginning.
My daughter's 31 yesterday.
Oh, well, happy
actually.
birthday to your daughter.
Well, it is a terrible thing that you have to talk about that. And there's a lot of parents that won't. There's a lot of kids, children, young adults, whatever category you want to, they want to put up a fuss. You're not going to look at my phone.
Then you don't get a phone.
And
you're right. And
that happens.
it does happen.
And it
happens
shouldn't.
a lot. No, because the parents usually buy the phone. They pay for the phone service. They own that phone. They can look at it anytime. They can go through their kids' stuff anytime they want to.
Yeah. I don't know if how many parents have been, if they really understand what they can and can't do in some cases.
And they may not. They may not believe that they can do it, but they can. I mean, it's their property. They own it. Not the children. I mean, that is their children, but not their property per se. But, I mean, they can go through their rooms. They can search stuff. We can't without permission, but they can.
Now, if someone lives underneath your home and you are the homeowner, we never know what we're going to talk about. But what if someone's 21 years old or 22 and they live and your child still lives with you in your house?
But they're renting like downstairs?
What if you're allowing them to stay under your roof?
You really can't go through their stuff if it's almost like they're a renter. They're subletting it. So you cannot go through their stuff without their permission unless it's written into the lease agreement and they
Well, what if you're just letting them stay there?
You still can't go. That's still their personal property. You can't go through it. I mean, they can ask, but they don't have to let them.
You get what is the what is the sheriff saying something? He's going to join us in the next segment, but it's better. What's the old cliche? It's better to ask forgiveness than
permission. That's right.
We're going to take a break.
That's true.
Oh, the sheriff's going to be here with us, and when we come back, stay with us here on Sheriff Talk.
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Many law firms will depend solely on medical records and telephone calls to learn about a client's injuries and how best to present those injuries to an insurer or a jury. A good lawyer, however, will always attempt to communicate and meet directly with your medical care providers. At the Bandy firm, Sean Richardson or Marshall Bandy will always personally reach out to every one of your medical care providers and work with them as closely as possible in developing your case for settlement or trial. With 65 years of combined trial experience, attorney Sean Richardson and Marshall Bandy will be with you every step of the way. If you've been injured due to the negligence of another, call the Bandy firm today. They will be with you every step of the way. The Bandy firm, 706-935-STEP, or on the web at bandylaw.com. The Bandy firm, every step of the way. 706-935-STEP. That's 706-935-7837.
The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve. When you or a loved one is facing a life-limiting illness, hospice care may be the answer. At Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice. Redefining hope.
Back now here to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. We want to clarify something, and I apologize if I wasn't clear. If it's a child, your child, that's 21 or 31, it's different if it's your child and they are living under your roof.
If it's your child in your house, you have rule of your house.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you had allowed a person, somebody that
Just renting from you.
Or if you allowed them to come in, then they're basically have to be treated as a renter or a leaser.
Correct.
A leasee or whatever of the property. But your children are always your children.
Your
so
children.
I'm glad you got to clarify
I would
that.
still go through my daughter's room, and she doesn't live with me. Nah, my daughter's a good kid. She doesn't get in trouble. Honestly, she's a smart aleck like her mama, but other than that, she doesn't cause any problems.
We're joined by the sheriff here.
Yeah.
He had
Hey,
to come in
Sheriff.
and set us straight, I guess. I don't know. How you doing, Sheriff?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good. We started out on a conversation. We had no idea where it was going, but it sparked a little bit of, but she wanted to let the parents know to continue to always look at their phones, and of course that's where we got into the fact that if you have children still living under your roof and that type of thing. So if you
a parent's got to understand that if you suspect them doing something on the phone, as we talked about on the show before, there's a lot of apps they can hide stuff under, and this will be an in-depth thing we have to go through again, but there's hundreds of apps they can hide stuff on that you wouldn't even know. A lot of parents wouldn't even know where to look. So, yeah, in a way it's good, but in a way these kids are smart nowadays, especially technologically.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be hard to find a lot of stuff that they may have hid if you suspect them doing something. You may have to take that phone to you, the investigator, or
But better
GBI
take
or
it to
something.
yeah, GBI. And also they can have multiple, like, Facebook accounts, multiple Snapchat accounts, and you don't know. They can sign in and sign out.
Well, technology is wonderful,
It's good and bad.
but you've also got a dark side and a bad side. You got people that put things on. They just make stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they just make stuff up, or they think this ought to be this way, so they
Try to make it that way.
try to make it that way.
Try to convince everybody else it's that way.
But and that's an unfortunate thing. You see that in folks that are trying to do scams. They try to tell you that Ed McMahon's coming, but he ain't.
I wish he'd come see me. For real.
Ed McMahon is not
No,
coming.
he's not coming.
But there's just so much stuff out there that people prey on other people's lack of defense.
Yeah.
And in this day and time, you have to keep your defense up so much.
And you shouldn't have to, but it's not going to get any better for a long time, I don't think.
What about Cindy here? She's made
We've
a
already
transfer.
talked about that.
Yeah,
Well,
talk about that.
that's,
Yeah, you're
that's
behind time,
that's how
sir.
we got. That's what we got here.
Yeah.
Was the fact that she is you give her a lot more duties, but you kept her doing other duties. So
Yeah. We're spreading her thin.
Yeah.
We
That's okay.
appreciate Marianne, working with us
Oh,
all these
yes.
years, and we miss
Absolutely.
Marianne. But she
too.
had higher aspects, and I'm
happy
happy
for
for
Going
her.
to school to become a teacher or
Yeah,
something.
she's training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. She'll be a good
I
one
think
too.
she's wanting to start this fall, which will be great.
Yeah. So
She'll be
we
a great teacher.
appreciate all the work Marianne did, but I had to have somebody to fill her shoes, which is hard to fill, but Cindy's going to do a great job.
Oh,
and she's-
absolutely.
She's going to try.
And you got cufflinks.
Those were my grandfathers.
Really? That's neat.
Wow, that is cool.
Okay.
Yeah, they're next
But,
door. Sorry.
We're Cindy's already doing a great job over there. We had a meeting this morning with the command staff, and she came on down and started the show. So doing a great job, Cindy. And
Thank
she's still doing investigative work, which I know you've talked about.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing. I mean, the type of investigative work you were doing is almost a specialty. It takes a special person to be able to do that. And,
Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot of talking to God, too.
yeah, I mean, obviously you get into these cases, and the average person and most folks think the good Lord don't understand that some of the things that you may uncover. I mean, obviously you get. I mean, once you hear it, it's there. You
And
gotta
or see it.
and or see it. I mean, it's a terrible thing. But some of the other duties that you do, I mean, you're the person that most folks will walk up and see when they come to the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
You got that's where your office is located now,
It is.
and so I mean, you got a lot of different things
That's
that
okay.
that you'll have to do. Plus, still with
Be a
the,
different day. Every day.
investigation.
Everything will be different every day. You never know what you're going to get.
I heard that. I will say that I got a text late yesterday evening from Sheriff Bo Burnett, and he had some things come up. Don't know exactly what he's working on, but couldn't be here today. We had a good show in y'all's absence last week. Even talking a lot about it. We're going to take our second break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some things. Governor Kemp has issued a second state of emergency, this time over violence and different things, and bringing in 1,000 of the National Guard. We'll talk a bit about that and some other things that are happening. Stay with us. The Sheriff Talk continues.
What are you? Chicken? We are Guthrie's Restaurant.
Here at Guthrie's, we're happy to announce that dine-in is once again available. We're following all CDC and state guidelines to bring you dine-in service at all 3 of our Chattanooga area Guthrie's locations. No time to dine in? You can still take advantage of drive-through and take-out orders at our locations in Trenton, Ringgold, and Signal Mountain. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good.
Guthrie's Restaurant in Trenton, Ringgold, and Signal Mountain, and at Guthrie'sChicken.com.
The best chicken finger sauce in the world!
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College.
At Comfort Gallery in Kimball, you can truly shop for any piece of furniture from any of our manufacturers. Drop in today and use our in-store kiosk. It's over 40 inches of full color, completely interactive for ease of use. And yes, you can shop all of our manufacturers for virtually any piece you may be looking for. Come to Comfort Gallery in Kimball to find exactly what you need for your home using our kiosk to shop from all of our manufacturers. Free delivery and setup, 1 year free layaway, and 6 and 12 months same as cash available at Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street, Kimball, Tennessee. Landers McLarty Ford of Fort Payne is your destination for quality automobile service. Landers McLarty is second to none when it comes to service on your vehicle. You can drop by and see us on Glen Boulevard Southwest in Fort Payne. Call our service department at 256-845-1101 or schedule an appointment online at LandersMcLartyFordFortPayne.com. So whether you drive a Ford or any other make of car, SUV, or truck, see our ASE certified and Ford factory trained technicians today at Landers McLarty Ford in Fort Payne.
Tennessee Valley Net, your local provider of fiber optic high-speed internet, TV with over 200 digital channels available, and phone service with lots of extras. Fiber optics from TVN is expanding to many areas. Call and see if TVN is available in your area. 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net today. Bundle and save on fiber optic high-speed internet, digital TV, and phone service. All from Tennessee Valley Net. 706-657-4367. Online at tvn.net.
Back to Sheriff Talk, continuing around the tri-state area. Sheriff, yesterday, Governor of the state of Georgia, Brian Kemp, due to some recent happenings all over the country, but especially here in Georgia, declared a second state of emergency. So we've got a state of emergency on health because of the COVID-19. Now we have a second state of emergency, as it gives him the authority to call in the National Guard. He's called in 1,000 National Guard troops to primarily come in and relieve the officers that have been guarding the state offices, the State House, down to the Capitol, Governor's Mansion, all of these different places, to let them get back on patrol and, let them get back doing what, they should be doing. And the National Guard will come in to protect these buildings, the federal buildings and the government buildings. And I think they had 12 shootings in Atlanta over the weekend, and 3 or 4 deaths, including the 8-year-old
child. Where's the uproar about that? I don't understand that. That's a baby. That's just a little kid.
The mayor of Atlanta, she did come out and she did condemn that, and she was very vocal to the point that, I think enough is enough is what she said. And,
it is.
And the governor basically saying that they've taken an event, a peaceful protest, and kind of twisted it into something that you got. And I wished I had the statement. He basically said that now that we have innocent Georgians lying in the streets dying, and we're not going to have that.
Well, I'm glad Governor Kemp brought in the National Guard. Some of these other governors need to take notice of this, and this spineless mayor that they have up in New York, he's a disgrace. He's sitting there playing political games with lives. And I'm sure this infuriates me. This little girl, this 8-year-old girl in Atlanta that lost her life, playing in her yard, got shot in the head by some of these cowards that walking around with these guns. And believe me, I'm a Second Amendment advocate all the way. I'm for guns, for Second Amendment rights. But these people out there that are just rioters, that are not protesters, they're not protesting, they're rioting, and they're out here. The criminals is what they are. And these governors in these states and these mayors, the mayor and the governor both in New York are just, they need to be out of office.
Well, Chicago's another another town. They had a
Seattle.
7-year-old girl get killed there over the weekend. All of these major cities are seeing, because of what's happening with the protesting and the defund the police movement, have seen a spike in crime.
Of course they are.
And after the officers were arrested in Atlanta, you saw a number of the crimes start going up. A number of the officers calling in sick, not answering the calls,
Yes.
going to work. But
the thing about this, the good people, black and white, that live in these areas, that go to work every day. It's not them. It's these thugs that don't have jobs, that don't work, they're probably on welfare out there doing this crap that's affecting all these good people that go to work.
Well, you
affecting them.
and I talked about this. Peaceful protesting is what our forefathers have went to war, and
Sure.
men and women have died for. And a peaceful protest, if you have, that's what our Constitution stands for. If we don't like what is happening with our government, we have a right to replace those leaders. Yes. We have a right to go and do a protest and to demonstrate why they need to change what they're doing peacefully. And I do believe, we've talked about it on this program. It goes back to the gentleman that was murdered by the police officer with his knee in his neck. That started this. But what entailed after that, when there was violence, when there was a crime committed after that, that's not a protest any longer. That's crime.
That's crime.
And and it's taken too long, really, for folks to understand there is a difference. There's two things happening
Huge
here.
difference.
There's two things. I know that this week there was the potential of maybe a protest here this past Saturday, and and one of the first things that I talked to you, if people wanted a peaceful protest, there is a place to do that. There is a time, and that you would protect them.
Yeah,
to make sure that they have the right to do that.
First of all, I want to say something about this thing that happened Saturday. There was a sign put on, I think, the courthouse square, the old courthouse, that there was going to be a protest Saturday, and we were prepared. I had officers come in. I was there myself, a major, and several other officers were there. State Patrol came over.
City and the county seemed to be really prepared for it.
City was here. We're not here against the protesters. That's their right. The First Amendment right is, freedom of speech and to peacefully assemble, which we protect those rights. That's fine. We were there in case it got out of hand and there was rioters that came in. Okay, and I want to say this: I appreciate all the people that came down in support of law enforcement that were there in case it got out of hand. They wanted to be there to help protect. I appreciate that. But please, if this was to happen again, I have no problem with them coming down and being there for support. Let the protesters protest until it gets out of hand. Then we'll, like I said, and some of these other sheriffs, and I know in Florida and South Georgia and places have said, if we get overwhelmed with people here, I'm the same with them. I'll deputize people if we need it. I'll do whatever it takes to help protect our county. I'm not going to stand by. There's not somebody going to come out here in these streets and block these roads as long as I'm sheriff. If they come out here and block these roads, they're going to jail. Bottom line. They come out here and throw the first rock through a window or hurt somebody, they're going to jail. And I don't care how many it is. And I can pick up the phone and call the governor and say, hey, we need some troops there, whatever. I'm going to do it to protect our county. I'm not going to stand by like some of these weak mayors and governors are doing, and some chiefs in certain areas. So don't think you've got a weak sheriff here that's just going to stand by and let that happen. It's not going to happen in Dade County. If it does, we're going to address it.
Well, I think that you see some of these larger cities, and I've been kind of taken back myself as I've seen things that I would have never thought that I would have been able to see.
Yeah.
Where a police precinct would be taken over. Multiple. One burnt down. I
get
think.
this, Ed, it's not the police officer's fault. It's their administration. It's the mayors and the chiefs that play this political games and don't back their officers up. That's where the weakness is. These officers and deputies want to stop this stuff, but they can't because they're administrative.
And a lot of people may not understand. A lot of these cities, the governor, excuse me, in the cities, the mayors have a lot of them either appointed by the city council. The police chief works under all of that, and they basically call the shots.
They do.
And what you can and can't do. It's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, and the officers have, these officers have families, and they have to support their families. And they're thinking, well, if I go against what the chief or the mayor says, then I'm going to lose my job. So they've got a lot they're having to deal with. I just can't imagine the stress that they're under. Look at Atlanta, just right down the road, 2 hours away from us. About 50 officers have already quit and left because they're not getting their support from who they need. It's a bad situation, and not to mention, New York, California, and Seattle, and places like this. Just imagine if you were an officer there, what you'd be going through right now.
I think that what I seen in Chattanooga at one time, they had a city council meeting, and I think there was 145 folks that signed up to talk. That's how you protest.
Yes.
You take your whatever it is, whatever you're wanting to change, and you go to a meeting where the city or the county or the sheriff, they come to your office, whatever they want to change. That's how you get together.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 7 or 8 hour city council meeting.
Well, then you go.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
They're elected officials, and they need to listen to everybody and then make an informed decision.
I don't like it when government steps in and tries to run people's lives. And I'm going to step out on a limb here. I'm kind of upset with what's happening in Hamilton County when they come out and say, now you got to wear a mask or you're going to be fined $50 to go into Hamilton County. We're grown adults. We should have enough sense to know if we should wear a mask. It's just like seatbelts. Yeah, that's a law. Do I agree with that law? Not for adults, I don't. I think if you're an adult, you got sense enough to know to wear a seatbelt or not. If not, if you have a wreck and you made that decision. Now, children are different. Children should be buckled up and restrained because they can't make those decisions for themselves. That's where the parents have to take some responsibility. But just like these masks, there's controversy on do they protect you, do they not? I've heard both sides. Myself, if I want to wear a mask, that's up to me. The government should not have the right to tell me that I have to wear a mask. I don't agree with that. And
you're breathing in your own carbon monoxide.
Exactly. Of course, like I say, there's good and bad, I guess, on both sides.
Well,
but for an adult to make that decision, they should be able to make that decision, not the government making it for them.
Governor Kemp has said that he has been very hesitant about making a mandate. But of course, on the other hand, last week he did fly with the Surgeon General of the United States all over Georgia. Dalton was his closest, asking folks to wear a mask in public.
Well, asking is one thing.
Right.
Demanding is something else. Making laws that they have to wear that mask, I don't agree with.
I don't either.
And I think you get so many varying, even between doctors. You know. Stuff like that. We got another break coming up, so we'll continue the conversation on the other side. Stay with us. Sheriff Talk continues. A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, or our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The power to work. That's what you get with genuine Husqvarna products. And now through the Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engines, you also have the power to get free Husqvarna power products. Purchase a Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower and get a free backpack blower, plus a free string trimmer. Then you'll be ready to take on the great outdoors with the power of Husqvarna. The Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engine is the clear choice for great value and superior performance. See the full line of quality Husqvarna products at York Small Engines, located on Highway 41 in Jasper. Stop in and see the new Husqvarna Fleet packages, or give them a call at 942-3965. With your new Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower, you'll get a free backpack blower and free string trimmer. For a limited time, get no down payment and 0 0% financing, available up to 48 months. See dealer for details. Husqvarna, the power to get it done.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig Internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
Rising Fawn Hardware is your place for all your gardening needs. Seeds, onion sets, cabbage, strawberry plants, and more. A complete line of home hardware items, too. Everything for the house, including plumbing, hardware, and metal roofs. Plus, Rising Fawn Hardware has everything you need for your livestock, including name brands like Nutria, Tucker, and Faithway. Always with a hometown atmosphere, it's Rising Fawn Hardware. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Open 8 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 8 to noon on Wednesday. Even open on Saturday from 8 until 4. Rising Fawn Hardware.
Back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV, visiting today with everyone. We certainly do appreciate you joining us every week as we look at different aspects of law enforcement.
Hey, let me straighten, or not straighten out, but clarify something. If a person wants to wear a mask, I have no problem. That's their right. If they think that's the best thing, by all means, wear that mask. I'm just saying it shouldn't be forced upon them. You know, if they don't want to wear it, then they shouldn't be forced to wear that mask. Unless they may go into a business like a nursing home. Yes, if the nursing home thinks they should wear that mask, they should.
Or any business.
Any business.
If you're a private business, you have a right to not let anybody in your door.
That's the business.
If you want to require a mask, and if you want to come in, you have to wear a mask, then that's the business's right to do that.
Yeah, right. But out here walking down the street and stuff, and they're going to make you wear a mask, I just think that's wrong. I think that's government pushing on your rights, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the law or the order by the county mayor, and they have mayors, it would be our equivalent to a county executive, under the health emergency. The governor first gave the counties the authority to do it. Then the governors were given the governor of the state of Tennessee gave all the county mayors the authority, and to do it or not do it. And then they chose to do it in Hamilton County. And from what I understand, it won't go into effect until July the 10th at 12:01 a.m. And I'm only assuming that gives the folks that maybe doesn't have a mask.
But what I understand in that order,
could be, I don't know.
that Hamilton County's doing, but you don't have to wear one in a church. You don't have to wear one in a
funeral,
restaurant or funeral,
churches, or a wedding.
So the virus is not there. Is that what they're saying?
Well,
I mean, what's the difference?
I have no idea where they came up with that. I haven't.
That makes no sense, you know.
Because a lot of it, the outbreak started at funerals and funeral homes.
Yeah, but that was the 3 exceptions that were in the order.
I haven't read the order.
And that was.
What logic is there in that? I just don't see it.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
I am sure that that the health officials, because Hamilton County has their own health department. It's some of the other counties that are not that big doesn't have their own health, but they've got their own standalone health department, from what I understand. So I'm sure he's going off of their guidance and the number of cases and things of that nature, to make his decision. But Chattanooga was the last. I went to Nashville this past Sunday. I had to take my wife to the airport, and so I went to Nashville's got it. Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville all had it before Chattanooga. Chattanooga was the last major city in the state of Tennessee that imposed a wear a mask ordinance. And anybody that's out at the airport, kind of requiring everybody. Now, did I see everybody wearing one? No. I never seen any of the police officers saying anything to them, but I wasn't there that long, so I don't know what that really means. But
I've seen people wearing them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if they have it hooked over their ear, they're wearing them. They just don't have it over their mouth.
Well, I think,
Maybe that's the way around it. I don't know.
you know,
They're still wearing them.
now, and keep in mind, and I feel y'all, but the vulnerable and the people that have health issues, they need to protect themselves.
Agreed.
Sure.
Either by staying at home. If you have to go out, you need to protect yourself. You need to wear a mask. You need to, you know, since the very beginning of this COVID-19, they've said, wear a mask, stay home if you're sick, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands frequently. That message has not changed. It's still stay home if you're sick, wear a mask, wash your hands. I mean, the exact same thing since the beginning. That same requirements has really hasn't changed.
But back before Corona, this COVID thing, when we'd have the flu, an outbreak of the flu in previous years, never one time was a mask ordered to wear because of the flu. And people would get flu, and some people were dying of the flu. But that never was brought up. I just don't get it, you know.
Well, I mean, I do know that, you know, especially for the first month or so until they really got, a couple of months actually, I mean, they didn't know what they were dealing with. You know, and there's no, you can't go and deny all the deaths that we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a bunch of them. But, you know, there again, I think, 16 to 30,000 folks a year die from the
There's
flu.
been a bunch from the flu too, but
You know,
the mask wasn't mandatory.
If we lose one, it's unfortunate. I mean, it
is.
really
Exactly.
is. You know, and we common sense. It goes back to what we were all taught. It's just common sense, and you know,
But like saying, you see it on the news, all these riders not ordered to wear a mask when they were riding and stuff, and nothing was. It was just forgot about it while the big riots were going on, and now it's kind of calmed down a little bit. Now we're back to.
I still don't understand. Maybe you can help. I'm just going to put this out here. I still don't understand why we're going back to the mayors of these big cities or any city. I still don't understand if you're going to, if someone is going to protest or have a peaceful demonstration. Protest to me, that's kind
Sounds
of like
harsh.
it's a harsh word
Sounds
anyway.
harsh.
How about a peaceful demonstration about an issue that you want changed? And it doesn't matter what the issue is, you have a First Amendment right to do that. I don't understand why the mayors, when they first got word of these demonstrations, said, okay, here is where you can demonstrate. You can be on the courthouse of City Hall. You can go to the county courthouse on the lawn. You can go to the parks and these 8 or 9 that are city-owned properties all over the state of, or all over the counties of whoever, or the cities of any of these major cities, and say, we're going to, anybody that wants to demonstrate, you need to go there. We're going to have authorities there to protect you. I may join you, okay, but here's all the areas you can demonstrate. And we have a city council meeting on the 3rd, and here's our process of getting on the agenda to come talk to us about it, whatever it is. But you say all of that, and then why don't you say, but if anybody violates a law,
You're going to jail.
we have no other recourse except to enforce the law. That's why we exist as a city, and taxes are paid to enforce the law. So standing in the middle of streets, thousands of people obstructing the flow of traffic is not a demonstrate.
It's
Demonstrate at
And
all
it-
of these other. I don't understand why they didn't do that.
And it should have
Now,
been
that's-
handled right then when that started.
It should have.
Don't wait till it just escalates until, take, for example, the mayor of Seattle, taking over the
area.
chop zone, whatever you're going to call it. For weeks and weeks, they just went on. They turned into a little small city there, their own, that they took over the police departments and everything else. Nothing was done by that mayor up there until people started dying. Then she says enough's enough. No, enough was enough when it started. When they started taking over the police department, they started defunding police and everything, and that was enough there. Because now the good citizens live there that go to work every day and try to live a normal life, it's affecting them. It's not affecting these thugs out here that's tearing up the police department and tearing up the streets and everything else. It's not affecting them. It's affecting the good people that live in those neighborhoods that don't want this. And I'm talking about black and white.
Well, I mean, it's obvious when you see these things on the national news that it all started from this one officer and this one African American with the knee, and there's basically I found nobody
that officer
that thought it was murder. It is murder.
That officer was dealt with. He's charged with murder. Okay, don't stereotype every other police officer and say we want to defund every one of them because they're all just like him. No, they're not. Most of the departments I know of and the officers,
good people,
they don't like that either. They wanted him put in prison too because of what he did. They're not that way, but they stereotyped every other officer of that's.
Oh,
that's wrong.
And I was going to say, you watch the news. I mean, there's often the race. There's all different types of race. The folks that are involved are all kinds of different colors that are out in the middle of the street and throwing stuff and
let me give you an example,
if you will.
Evan. Yesterday, and I don't hate to interrupt you, but yesterday we had an officer come up from Clayton County to pick up an inmate to take back to Clayton County. This was a black officer that came in there. He came in. I was in a jail back there. He came in, nice as he could be. Shook my hand. We shook hands. He is just as much against that as I am. Of putting every officer in that same box as the one that put his knee on that guy and killed him. He don't like it of them doing officer because he's an officer himself, even though he's black. He doesn't agree with it either. There's hundreds and thousands of other black officers that don't agree with what's going on too, because we're all brothers and sisters. I don't care what color you are.
No.
We're not racist. They're not racist. But these guys out here that's got this agenda, these Antifa and these fascists and people that are doing this stuff, they're the problem. It's not black or white, it's them. They're wanting to push their agenda on everybody else and ruin America, what they're doing. And these veterans that have fought and died for this country, and they're doing this to these monuments and these flags and everything that these guys spilled their blood and died for. This just infuriates me. I'm sorry. But these veterans need more respect than that. And this is wrong. And law enforcement is going to have to step in, and the military, whatever it takes to stop this crap. Because these guys that fought in these wars, and even the ones that didn't die, the ones that are here now, Vietnam, that was a shame. They come back here and be spit on and everything else. And now look what they're going through. Because a lot of
basically
Vietnam veterans are still alive, and they're seeing this, that they spent years over there in Afghanistan, Iraq, and everywhere else to protect this country. And now look what our American citizens are doing and how they're disgracing these veterans. This is wrong, and I'm just furious. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional because I'm furious about it.
No, you're good.
Well, the one thing that I've thought about, and I've seen more of it here lately, they're disgracing our flag, stepping on it, walking on it, setting it on fire. To me, is some type of attack on every veteran that fought.
It is.
It is.
That to protect. Now, on the same token, I realize that they have that First Amendment right
freedom
to do that, but it's really hard to watch because there is men, women, folks from every race that have fought in our armed forces to give them the right to face the very thing that we all have in common with that flag. And it just really bothers me, that someone would, want to use that as a symbol to destroy. To me, it's destroying America and everybody that has stood up and joined the armed forces to protect that very right.
And another thing that gets under my skin is kneeling at the national anthem. I mean, they're trying to make a point, I'm sure, but that's not the place to do it. I mean,
you can make a point down at City Hall. Ask them to change things. Make a point at the county commission meetings. Make a point when you elect the House of Representatives, and when we go to the polls to elect the sheriff or whatever you may want to do. That's what we have a right to be able to do. To campaign for and against something. You know, we just had an election. You just won re-election for 4 years.
Yes, you did.
You didn't have any opposition, but if you had, they would have had. If somebody was running against you, they have just as much right to do that.
Of course they do.
As if you running
That's right.
for the position. You know, and we live in a wonderful country.
Yeah, but every day, and it's just got worse and worse. And it's, unless it's good people stand up, it's going to continue to get worse. We're letting a minority of people, and I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about a minority of thugs run this country right now. That's what's happening. They're wanting to defund police. Who'd ever thought that would happen in the United States of America, that you would want to defund police, the people that are sworn to protect people? Yeah, there's some bad apples in every business. I don't care if it's law enforcement, medical field, whatever. You're going to have bad people. That's not everybody. That's those individuals that made that decision to put their knee on that guy's neck, and people like that. Those should not be there, should never been there. And it infuriates good people that wear that badge. They give them the black eye.
You know, and one of the things, I remember the city chief, and I've never met him, but I respect him in Chattanooga. Right after this happened, he posted, I follow him on Twitter, a picture of this, and he made a statement right off the bat. He says, if there's an officer that thinks this was okay, you turn in your badge in the morning. Mm-hmm. If anybody even thinks that this was okay, turn in your badge. Yeah. And I mean, that was the message, right there. Turn in your badge if you even think this was okay. You know, and I really respected him for that. I mean, he put the message out real quick.
He didn't wait or anything.
You know, and but anyway, we're going to take another break. Golly, this hour's getting away. We'll have more Sheriff Talk coming up.
Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it. Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
The Big Jet Fly. I need somebody to get back. Honk a cat. Where you talking about the time I go out? 5, 4, 6, 2, 4. Rolling on the river. The Big Jet fashions and gas, gas, gas. Till I reach the highest ground. The Big Jet Fly. WFI.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. It's a weekly television show where the sheriffs kind of talk about law enforcement and different things that are happening. And, of course, there always seems to be at least something that's happening in law enforcement that we get to talk about week after week.
That's true.
For sure. It was a pretty quiet 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of fireworks.
Good fireworks. I went over to, me and my daughter and my granddaughter went over to Hell's Bar and watched them, and we're going to try to get a close-up view of it. Well, we got a little too, we were right underneath them and left. My truck was covered with paper and stuff from the fireworks, but then we came to Trenton Saturday night and watched those, and they were good too.
Yeah, I watched actually the ones from Trenton. I watched from I came over earlier and saw the crowds that really all the cars, if you will. And there was a lot of folks all over town watching in different locations.
Yeah.
And I watched them from the back porch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of location, and they were pretty. Mm-hmm. They done an excellent job.
Yeah, it seemed kind of weird that New Salem didn't have theirs this year. It was.
It was that was 30-something year tradition.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they had to make a decision back at the late part of March to spend thousands of dollars.
They do spend thousands.
And not even knowing what it was, if they could even have it or not.
Right.
I understand.
And there was, you can't keep these things for a year.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't think so. I
I wouldn't want to. Where would you keep them? Unless they brought them down to y'all to put up somewhere. But
I wouldn't keep them.
On a bad note, I know there was an accident. I don't know if it's down Rising Farm, but one of the gas boys had a bad accident with the injured, and I know he lost an eye, and I think one went off in his face, and it was a really bad situation.
Oh, the fireworks. It wasn't an accident.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bless his heart.
So keep that family in your prayers. He's definitely going to need it.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line, it is dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
It's
You have to respect them. The fireworks, because if you don't, you're gonna get hurt.
Well, a lot of times the people are lightning want to do it kind of quick, and they might get in a hurry and just. I think what happened this one, it lit it and it didn't go off, and thought it was a dud or something, and then happened to get over it, and then it went off. And it's sad.
Not good at all. Well, we hope that that family can recover from that.
Definitely.
Not good at all. Not good at all for sure. Well, we always at the end of the program talk about something on a lighter note. We do have baseball now.
I saw the Braves are about to come back.
When do they start?
July the 24th.
Yeah.
Right.
At 4:00 in the afternoon, they're playing the Mets.
Any spectators?
I don't think so.
I haven't heard.
I was thinking there wasn't. But I could be wrong.
I haven't heard. I do know that the Georgia legislature, they before they left, they did an indemnity type of law that you can't, and I'm going to use the Braves because that was part of it. Is the fact if you go to the stadium, you can't sue them if you get COVID. Right. I mean, because I don't know what it's called, but any type of business or whatever, it's kind of a blanket protection.
Well,
if
it's your
you
choice
will.
to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's
that
pretty
risk.
much, unless somebody takes you there against your will, you're choosing to go, and then anywhere you go, you may be susceptible to get any kind of disease, technically.
Yeah.
That. So, I haven't heard if they're going to have, seating, limited seating or whatever. I know they were talking about it at one time, but and they're going to play 60 games, and they're doing their summer. Well, it's not spring training; it's the summer
training,
summer something another they call it, and they're doing it at home at all their home ballparks. And so, got Braves on the 24th. It's an afternoon game. Of course, we'll air it on the stations.
Now, I'm sorry, you said all their home ballparks. Somebody's going to have to travel because they got to play somewhere.
No, for their summer.
Spring training.
For their spring training that's going on right now, instead of going to their their training facilities in either Arizona or Florida, they're in their home ballparks.
Okay, I thought you were talking about.
Why did the Braves leave Orlando? They used to be in Orlando for spring training. What
Well,
happened
you know,
there?
I'm not really sure. They stayed down there forever in this at the Disney Wild World of Sports Complex. It was actually built for the Braves.
Yeah.
If I've heard, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they're around Tampa
But
now.
they're now in a brand new facility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, I'm not really sure, but I think teams do that on occasion.
Yeah,
They'll
they
just go
probably
to
do.
another area or entice them to build them a new stadium if they'll come. And
I would say there's probably money, some kind of money.
I would
factor
think so.
involved.
This usually are. You follow the money,
Yeah.
you know, in all of that, all the sports really, kind of boils down to that. But
who is this? Notes a little bit on football. The NFL player that's getting $530 million to sign a contract.
Oh,
Can't remember who it is. I don't know if it's with the Chiefs or who, but
it's crazy.
man, what a salary! 5 years from now, that won't be enough. And they'll be wanting more.
you know, I always look at that, and I'm thinking $530 million for one person to play one position on one football team.
Like a 5-year contract or so, 5 or 10.
And that's what, you know, over 10-year contract, that's $5 million. And I'm thinking, but what I think about is if they can, what kind of money are we paying
Exactly.
to the owners where they could actually pay one player $50 or $500 million?
Too much. We're paying too much.
You know,
But
them
we'll pay it.
$14 hot dogs.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever it is.
Advertisement and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, that's it's amazing. Amazing, and of course they've always said in baseball it's a kids' game played by a bunch of millionaires.
That's true.
That is, and that's what baseball is.
Yeah.
It's just a kids' game. Well, football too. Backyard, high schools, and
And no lookouts this year.
yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's just kind of where it goes. But at least the 24th we'll have some.
I'm glad.
We'll have some
Braves.
baseball. This is an afternoon game. You can listen News Radio 101.3 and 1420. You listen on the radio. I know that they've told us the pregame will start about 75 minutes before first pitch, and that's going to be like at 4:10. So we'll be on the air somewhere around 2:05, 2:35 or something. So with live actual baseball.
What day of the week is that
It's
on?
Friday afternoon.
Okay. I'll
Friday
be listening.
afternoon. And of course, you know, with Friday night football that's scheduled to start in Georgia, we'll have that game, and then we'll go right to a local high school football right after that. So
School's still on. Open August 7th.
August 7th, when students return in Dayton.
It's going to be strange to see
Dayton.
cars back over there again.
It has been a while.
It has.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, it is, we've talked our time limit. Cody's going to cut us off. So we better say until next week. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue next week for another edition of Sheriff Talk. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV 7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7.